Yeah, you are live. Okay, then we are live. Hello, good evening, good day, good morning, wherever you're watching. And today is Thursday, 8 p.m. German time. I am still with you again. And I would like to know if the sound and the image is good. Let me know somehow. And today I have a beautiful lady with me, which is a little bit not so well, but but still she is commitment and is with me today. So, Anke Doctory, yes, I hope it's correct how I pronounce. And
Yes.
she's a life coach and career coach. So,
Yeah.
welcome, dear.
Thank you so much for the invitation, Simona. Much appreciated. And thank you for the introduction as well. I'm Anke Doherty, as you said already. Okay, I'm a life and career coach, and I work with corporate executives, and I teach them basically how to, it's basically sorry. See, you said already I'm not so well, so I'm kind of mixing things up. So basically,
Everything is fine.
I teach corporate executives who can buy anything how to finally get the one thing they cannot buy, which is happiness. Yeah. So creating money is a skill. Many of us know it. Okay. But creating happiness and fulfillment in life is actually an art, as I always say. Okay. So I teach them basically the art of creating happiness in their life. Yeah.
This is amazing. So my phone calling, I need to make and shut down. And one
Yeah.
second to share this on the group, on the Facebook group. I have a Facebook group, and now I realize that it's not sharing, but I think that we are live there. Yes. Then I can share it there. And we back to this out. So thank you for waiting. And
No problem. That's technology for you sometimes, isn't it?
today it was a challenge with technology. There's something's not working when I want to send the posting. Then after that, you write me that you are not so well, and it was. Oh,
But the most important thing, Simona, we are here, right? Both of
yeah,
us are here and we're
yes,
live. So
yes, we are live, and this is I'm very happy that you still not well. You don't give up. This is a good
no,
sign.
very rarely.
Okay, we have Vikas, we have with us. Thank you for watching. How are you? Okay, I am very well, and Anke is not so well, but thank you for question. So, happiness is a big problem, and I have something also about loneliness and then career and everything. How the people in corporate, I was very not too much in corporate, but even in corporate, I don't feel I have people around me, but I feel lonely. I don't feel
Yeah.
happy. What you can tell about?
Well, let's put it this way. You said you had people around you, but you still felt lonely. Okay.
Mhm.
So it doesn't mean that if we have people around us that we are not lonely, or if we are on our own that we are automatically lonely, right? Loneliness, or happiness is a feeling, right? And the feeling usually gets created from two things, okay? Which is, first of all, the pictures we create in our mind and the words we tell ourselves. Okay, so let's just say, for example, and I've been there myself at some point as well. If you sit in the company and you're thinking, I don't know why I'm here, I actually don't want to be here, I'm still not promoted, I'm still doing the same boring job, and then you sit there, but you're waiting to be happy. That doesn't work because there's a disconnect. You cannot tell yourself that everything's so bad and then expect to feel happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I mean by it depends on these two things. Like I love to repeat it, Simona. Yeah? The words you tell
I write
yourself,
it down.
yeah, and the pictures you create in your mind. Okay.
That means when I don't like my job, for example, suppose that I am a corporate and I don't like my job and I feel unhappy. This means that I can switch in my mind and tell myself, okay, the job is the best.
Well, you can do that, yes, but usually this is too much of a jump. Okay. I mean, you cannot say in 1 minute, I hate my job, and the next minute you're like, I love it, I love it, I love it. Like, this is crazy somehow, right? But
Yes.
what I would say to you, first of all, is to really, ask yourself, why are you in the job? If you don't like your job, it takes 5 minutes to write a resignation letter. Why are you not writing it? Why are you actually here?
True.
Yeah, because sometimes we tell ourselves that we don't like it and we're unhappy in it and we shouldn't be here. Okay, then write your letter. What keeps you here? And sometimes, I mean, we are here because we want to earn money. We are here maybe because we still somehow hope that we get a promotion, or whatever the reason is. I don't know, it's really quite individual, but we have some sort of reason that keeps us here. Otherwise we wouldn't be here. And I think it's important to really find that reason and to be honest with ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, for example, I think you've also been a single mom, right? I've been a single mom for a very
Yes.
long time. So if I tell myself, hey, I don't like this job, and I had this on certain occasions where I really didn't like it, okay, especially in one instance, but I was still there because I needed the money. I cannot just put in my paper and run away and, and think everything's better then. Of course it won't be better because I won't have food to put on the table and rent to pay, right? So I don't like my job. So I can tell myself, you know what, it's not the best, but I want to be here because it's actually a choice. I want to be here because that job gives me the money that I need to pay my bills.
True. This means are some factors which influence our decision, and sometimes if you don't have choice, or even if you have decision in your mind, you don't have the choice maybe, or depend. There are many factors what influence. This is true.
Yeah, I mean, you can always give yourself a choice. If you don't like the job, you can go and look for something else. But until then, you're in this job and you decide to be there because you need to, whatever, earn money or whatever your reason is. So then we start to lie to ourselves, and saying, hey, I really hate it. I don't want to be here. And we tell ourselves these things. And of course, if I tell myself it's a bad job, I'm not going to sit there happily or enthusiastically,
Absolutely. I am agree with you. Why are so many people feeling unhappy then?
I think a lot of it is about expectations, expectations that are maybe not met, or things where we think it should be different, a different story that we tell us other than reality. So for example, if you put it back to a company and somebody says, hey, I should get that promotion, I'm really unhappy here, or I don't like the working environment, and they wish for something different, then in that moment where you kind of always want something different than what you have right now, you will start to become unhappy, you see? And apart from this, I always say there's 5 factors for being happy, okay? Or successful on the inside, as I sometimes say. First of all, self-compassion, okay? So let's take your example, which you just mentioned. You're not happy you're just not happy, okay?
Yes.
So, some people then are very quick, including myself, okay, to say, you should be happy, just ignore it, it's fine, get over it, and then you start to work against yourself. But sometimes you just have to, really tap on your own shoulder and say, you know what, I hear you, you don't like it, it's okay, you don't have to like it, and really have this compassion for yourself. And some people find it really difficult to relate to it. So I always say, think you're your best friend. If your best friend comes to you and tells you, I really hate that job, I need to get out of there, what do you say to your friend? You're not going to say, get over it, move, or, or look for something or whatever.
Yes, I like a word. Yes, it says, you are not a tree, you can move.
Yes, I love that too. That's a good one, right? You're not a tree. You don't have roots in the ground. You can move.
Yes. That means even if the environment, the company, does, I don't know, there can be many factors, and move, even if
Which,
another country.
yeah, and you know what? That actually leads nicely into the second point. Okay, so the second point is to take some responsibility for yourself and for the situation you're in. Okay, so if you're not happy where you are, whether it's professionally or privately or whatever,
Yes.
as you said, you're not a tree, you can move, right? But you need to kind of take this responsibility and just say, okay, I will figure out a way. I will figure out a way of how to change something or how to get out there or how to even find out what is actually wrong, you know?
Mhm.
But a lot of people then blame everybody else. Oh, I'm not happy in my relationship. Yeah, it's because I have the wrong boyfriend. Oh, I'm not happy in the company. Yeah, because the company's shit or the manager sucks or whatever. Excuse my language. But you know what I mean? It's very easy to blame others. And most people then would agree, right? If you tell your friend, hey, you know what? I don't like my boyfriend because he did ABC, your friend will probably go like, oh my God, how can he do this? And people will agree with you, which really yeah, makes it quite difficult sometimes. But as you said, if you don't like your relationship, you can go. If you don't like your job, put in your letter. you know you need to take some responsibility for yourself,
Yes.
right?
Okay, we have a comment from Mututa.
Do.
Hello, hello. You see it? You see the
I
comment?
see one comment from Mortuza. Sorry if I pronounced the name wrongly. Is
Yes,
it?
yes.
Yes. So yes, in today's scenario, we need to bend ourselves, whether you like it or not, because the world we're living need lots of things in life. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I think with bend yourself, Mortuza, you probably mean adjust also a little bit. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes we have to adjust ourselves and compromise. I always say life is 50-50. Wherever we are in life, even if we're in the best relationship, we have the best job, we earn the best money, we live in the nicest house, it's not always sunshine every day. There are things we come across, there are things we have to deal with. So yeah, we need to adjust.
Be adaptable.
Adaptable. Yeah. Okay. And then again, which leads me to my next point. This is nice how it's flowing. The
Yes.
next point of actually happiness as well, is to have some faith. Like, even sometimes if you don't know how to solve something, if you, for example, really don't like your job or whatever, or something is not quite right with your family, just trust that things will work out at some point, or that you will find a way to work them out, right? Sometimes you can feel really trapped. I remember in one of my jobs I felt really trapped because I'm like, well, I can't really leave because I need the money, but I'm getting more and more frustrated, more and more tired, so I don't really have the power to look around or whatever. And I put myself in this very narrow space, in this tiny space, and
Mhm.
of course you will feel bad, because you don't give yourself an option. You're like, well, the job's not great, but I cannot move as well. So you need to have some faith that everything will somehow work out, you see?
Yes, without faith, you cannot move
Yeah.
forward. I think so. Even if you have a low period, let's say, but after that,
Yeah.
fight to move forward practically.
Yeah, and you know what? I can give you another example, Simona, or even the listeners. Yeah, when I did my first university degree, in my final examination, okay, after 5 years, I studied for 5 years. I failed one subject twice. Okay, I had
The
one more
same,
attempt. Hmm?
the same subject.
The same subject twice, and I was like, what is happening? And I knew I had one more attempt. Okay, I studied for 5 years. I was a single mom. I juggled my studies with 30 hours in the supermarket. I was tired, I was frustrated. I'm just like, I need to get this done. And I had no idea how to do it, because even the second time I thought I prepared really well. Okay, and I didn't know what else to do because I studied translation. So in translation, you cannot prepare 100%. I mean, you need to, increase your language skills or vocabulary or whatever you have. And I didn't know what else to do. So I remember on that morning, I'm just like, it will be fine. I don't know how. It will be fine. It will be fine. Literally, I walked to uni. I'm like, it will be fine. And you know what? It was fine. But if I would have failed that exam for a third time, I would have had all the 5 years down the drain.
Oh my God.
You see? And this is what I mean by faith. Okay, this is how I learned to have faith in this situation, actually, because for me this was a big deal, at that time.
Yes, yes. That's I can relate with you because I have when I come in Germany, I start to work in cleaning because I don't have time for make school to switch my degrees,
Mm,
and because my son it was starting the school. How it's possible to go to school? I need to
mm,
work to have money for survive, and I was a little bit rebellious in the company where I was. It was not company; it was some. I have another lady who give me work,
mm,
and in the on the invoice basis and commission basis.
yeah.
But she don't pay on time, and I was rebellious, and I hold all the people together, and I say we don't work till we don't get our money, and she threw me
Mm,
away, and I was without job, without nothing.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
from today on tomorrow, because it was like this, and it was I can remember it was Easter day, and
Mm,
she write me a SMS, from today you are free. Okay, and I say okay, today is Easter, I have faith, I make party today. From tomorrow I don't know.
yeah. Yeah.
And it
But you
was
know what
struggle
this
and
is?
frustrated and everything, but it was on my right.
Yeah.
And this was more frustrating when, for my rights and for my money, I need to fight with somebody. And this, like you say, I have faith. I don't know how I manage, but after that, I get something else very quickly, and I don't have. Just I tell myself, like you say, yes, it will be everything fine. How I don't know.
Yeah. And this is actually really an art, I always say, this is not like a skill where you read in a book, you're like, I need
No.
to think ABC and I will have faith. It's not like this. It's really something that comes from inside you, and like in your situation or like in my situation, I think people learn to have it when they have no other choice.
Yes.
When you literally have nothing but the belief that you will somehow make it. How? No idea, but you will make it.
Okay, we have another comment. If you are in low esteem or in frustration, just keep yourself cool and positive to yourself. With self-belief, you can really break the. Hmm, okay, the last word I cannot understand.
Shackles, I'm not quite sure, but yeah, I could probably the barriers or something.
Okay,
Barriers to problems. Yeah, I mean, definitely. Again, frustration or low self-esteem are feelings. Okay. I know I'm repeating myself, but it's really is so
it is
important.
so.
Okay. It's back to the words you tell yourself. If you're frustrated, ask yourself why. Why are you frustrated?
Okay,
And then already you will know a lot of things. Yeah. Many times, for example, we think that things shouldn't be this way. Like maybe you, Simona, you thought with your cleaning job, they should pay me. Well, they don't. So they shouldn't. So the question is, okay, they don't pay you. So what now? You cannot really force them to pay you. So, the question is what to do then. But if you go on in your head and you're like, they should pay me and this is not fair. And, maybe just because I'm a foreigner or I don't speak the language or whatever, you go
it was,
on
yes,
and on and on and on. And the more you talk to yourself into this, the more frustrated you will become.
absolutely. But I choose to be to let go. In my head, something I let go. But on the other part, I go to the lawyer and I go on the legal way, and I get my money later. But I get it. But
Yeah.
not in that moment, and I was not frustrated because I was frustrated just because on the right, when you have right, you are throw it away because you tell your opinion.
Yeah.
And this was the part which made me more frustrated, not the part that she threw me away.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. But then you, again, you took responsibility, which is the
Yeah,
second point we talked about. You took responsibility for it and you just didn't sit in the corner and cry about it.
no way. I
So,
I stand up for all the team, not just for myself.
yeah, yeah. So, and the next point, which we are good at having, Simona, is fun.
We have fun today, honestly.
we
Yes.
we always have fun, right? Even the first time we talked, I don't know what we were talking about even, but we were laughing. So I think, regardless of the situation you're in or whatever you're facing, it's so important to kind of have a laugh every now and then. And even if you laugh at yourself or whatever, or at something weird, or it's so important to sort of not forget the fun.
I do this with myself. When I make mistakes, the funny time it is when I drive and I take another highway, for example. This is the most
Mhm.
the most funny thing for me.
So what are you doing then?
I go forward. I turn around. I don't turn around on highway till now. No,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
go and I will find a solution how I go to the point B. For example, I
yeah,
I take another one. What is the problem?
yeah, yeah. And sometimes you just have to, even laugh at yourself or whatever, you
But it's
know?
funny.
Yeah. Or even, if you don't want to laugh at yourself, or sometimes really we don't have anything to laugh at ourselves, but then maybe it's important to just have something which gives us some joy, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Do you
Yeah.
remember, maybe you don't, I don't know, the German, I think it was a comedy show, Alf, the extraterrestrial brown guy or something, Alf. I
Yes,
used
but
to watch it.
not too much.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, but it was some silly show,
Okay.
and I still, up to today, when I feel sometimes frustrated or whatever, I go and watch Alf. It's so ridiculous. You should look it up later. And I do that, and
Okay.
it kind of makes me smile.
This is good. I learn now. I listen some podcast or the video or something I watch now, and it was a point where the gentleman say that make a habit from this, and each half an hour or each hour smile to yourself, no matter
Mm,
who is around, or it is someone to you next to you or not. Smile for yourself,
mm.
and this I find it so good
Yeah,
because we
yeah,
can do
it
it.
is. It maybe to some people it sounds really random, like, right? Like, I mean, why would you smile to yourself? You know what I mean? But if you try it, like everybody who thinks like these two women are crazy, I mean, we are, but that's a different subject. I would just say really try it out.
Yes.
For me, for example, sometimes what I do in the morning when I just get ready in the bathroom, I go into the mirror, I'm like, let's have a good day.
Good. High
You know,
five.
high five to myself.
Yes. It
High
make you
five to
feel
our
better.
listeners.
Yes, make you feel better.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
And
that
then
we skip from the loneliness, from the unhappiness subject. We are in completely another part.
well, we are just talking about happiness as well.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I mean, we can come back to the loneliness in a moment. I
Yeah.
think that the last and final part is also to have some knowledge, because sometimes when we're faced with situations in life, we don't know how to do something, right? So, for example, when you came to Germany, you didn't know anything. You didn't know people. You didn't know the language. You knew nothing. So
Nada.
in such situations, you need to gain some knowledge, whatever that knowledge is, whether it's a language or it's some additional skills or whatever. We're always so good at studying our subjects at school, or our subjects for our profession, whatever our profession is. But
Mhm.
we don't know sometimes how to do simple things in life, because nobody teaches us that, right? I mean, our
Oh,
parents won't tell us to high five ourselves. I mean, this is maybe a silly example now, but these sort of things, how to navigate life sometimes,
true. This is
right?
also what I see now, that we have a lot of lack of learning about emotion, about feelings.
Yeah,
We don't learn nothing about this. We don't know how to act with ourselves and with the others also,
yeah,
on the emotional basis, not just okay, to write a
yeah,
paper or something like this. This get very easy, but the emotional part and everything, this is are completely out from the schedule, also in school or in many families. Also, we cannot say that it's just the school, it's also the families, that it was the time for, in my time, the people, and so my parents don't talk about emotion or something like this. It was everything hide, or the
yeah,
so n- nothing, or it was completely. I learned
hidden.
on the hard way from newspaper.
You have read a
Honestly,
good newspaper then, Simona, I tell you.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't my money, what I have money pocket, what I get, I spend it on some small newspaper, which it was for the high school time, and it's the way how I learn about many things. Why is it working like this? The body,
Yeah.
we know already how it's working in school, but the emotion and base, and we don't know something, and this is missing.
I fully agree with you. I mean, we learn so many things in school. And I mean, with all respect, sometimes we learn things we never use again in our life. Like I remember I learned Latin for 9 years. And I also remember the only reason why I took Latin is because it meant that I have less math. I don't know, they had some weird arrangements, where you could either go more towards languages or more towards sciences. And I wasn't good at math or sciences or anything, right? So I'm like, okay, just to get away from math, I will go for Latin. So I learned Latin for 9 years. And I mean, I don't know anything anymore,
Oh God.
Yeah, school is quite some time ago now for me as well. Makes me feel old, but okay. But I don't know Latin anymore, but I would say things like in day-to-day life, we just don't learn these things. I mean, even stuff about practical things, taxes or how these things work, we don't learn it in school generally. And the same about emotions. And I would say it's so important because of course everybody has emotions, and life is always 50-50. It's up and down and up and down, so I think it's really important to know also and to understand how you can manage them, because otherwise you will just you will not be able to manage very well in your life. And I mean, we can see this now with all those mental health topics and
Yes.
all these things that become more and more visible now because people pay attention to it, right? But I think a lot of these things can be avoided in the first place or minimized if we have some knowledge about it.
Absolutely, I am agree with you. This is something which this if you have the knowledge how you manage your emotion, I think that you can make your happiness. You can create your happiness.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, when I heard this, that basically my mind creates my emotions. When I heard this at first, I was like, what? I'm like, what do you mean I'm creating this? Don't you understand that I just feel like this? I was literally thinking like that. I
Yes.
didn't understand that this comes from me.
Mhm.
You see, but it does come because otherwise everybody would react exactly in the same way or feel the same way about a situation.
Agree.
For
Agree.
example, we can take COVID as an example. We had COVID, right?
Yes.
I mean, if you ask maybe 10 people how was their experience with COVID and COVID times and everything,
Mhm.
you will probably get 10 different answers, right?
This is 110% that you get 10 different answers, because the feeling how one person reacted to, or how it was the situation, that it will be from one of the will be easy, otherwise it will be horror.
Yeah. Yeah. Which then again shows that it's not COVID that influences how you feel, because otherwise the whole world would feel the same about COVID, whatever it is,
Yes.
but it's not. Everyone is different. And this is because of the thoughts which you're having in your mind and the pictures which you're creating in your mind. I know, for example, there are people that really struggle with not being able to leave home that much or with not being able to see people, right? And there are other people for whom it's just fine. They just connect more in the online world, or they connect
Yes.
more with friends or whatever, just online, and they're okay. But others are not. So again, I'm not saying everybody should just tell themselves whatever they think they should tell themselves, but I think it's just important to understand what actually creates your emotion first, and
Mhm.
second, that you are actually able to change it if you want to. And sometimes the answer may be, you know what, I just want to be furious right now. I don't want to change it. I'm just furious. And that's fine.
Okay.
Right? I mean,
Yes.
yeah. For me, I'm not able to see my mom this Christmas. And for me, this is quite a big deal because my mom lives on her own in Germany. And I just want to be pissed off, to be honest. I want
Okay.
to be pissed off about it. But I know if I want to change it, then I know what to do.
I got you. Yes.
So
But if you are all the time frustrated and furious and everything, then you have all the time negative feelings. So you are in negativity, then you'll be unhappy all the time. Does
Yeah.
not help if you stay piece off, like you say. It's not help at all.
No, well, it's not good for you in the end, right? I mean, if you feel miserable all day, every day, of course, this is not great for anybody, but I think it's so important for people to really understand that you have a choice. Even if your circumstances are not great, you do have a choice. Okay. And sometimes it may still not always be pleasant, but you can just move forward from there. Life is not supposed to be pleasant 100% of the time. I mean, who wants to be happy all the time, right? For example, like you, when you had to quit your job because you didn't get paid, or me when I keep on failing my exams. I mean, who wants to be happy about these things? Nobody, right?
You cannot be happy, but after that, when later on, when you realize that it was a lesson and it was good that it happened like this,
Yeah.
because you are out from the comfort zone and you move forward.
Yeah. And I think one really important question that I always ask people also, when I coach them, I always say, okay, how can this situation work for you, like in your favor, rather than against you? And oftentimes, when something bad happens, people are like, "Ah, I have no idea. This is just bad." But if you think about it, I mean, like with you, with your job, and I'm just putting words in your mouth, yeah. So maybe
Yes.
correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, you knew how to stand up for yourself, and you know that
Yes.
you will not just take anything from anybody just because you're new in the country or you don't know the language.
Yes, this I cannot accept it just because I am new here and for my rights and for my work.
Yeah,
If I leave it like this, then it will be next month the same. It will happen once, 2, 3, 4 months. It will be maybe 2, 4 days different time when you get paid. But when the month is to end, for example, there are 2 weeks or almost 3 weeks later on, then you cannot wait because
yeah,
nobody wait you for the to pay the rent. Nobody your
yeah,
bills and everything. Just move forward.
yeah.
And if you don't get your money, then you will be after that in one circle. Then you cannot go out from there. And
Yeah,
I
it
stand
will
up.
become yeah, it will become more and more difficult, because you actually you feel so powerless because you feel you're completely out of control, right? I mean, you cannot really influence whether somebody pays you, but you can control what you make it mean and what does it mean for you, right?
Yes,
So if you don't like that, you can put it to an end and you can look for something different, as you
absolutely.
did.
Yes. And I hope that it's not necessary to to make the same, but I will do it again if it's
Yeah,
necessary. And when I stand up, not just for me, I stand up for the others. I see also that was also another people which are in the same situation. They have also kids. They have all this, or
yeah,
everybody have something. And even if you are alone, you have something to pay, or you have your life, and you need to move somehow forward.
yeah. I
And
mean, also regardless of whether you need to pay something or not, I mean, at the end of the day, you're giving your work, right? So you want your pay.
yes, then is absolutely you're right. And if you don't act, then this means that you don't take responsibility for your life.
Yeah, very true. And this is then what makes you unhappy, or what makes you feel really alone or whatever.
Hmm.
And yeah, I mean, you talked about loneliness in the beginning.
Yes.
Loneliness is something which you perceive, like when you just feel, okay, nobody understands me, nobody's in the same situation like me, I'm alone here, I cannot see anybody, or whatever you're thinking. Of course, I mean, if you think such thoughts, it will make you feel very alone.
Yes, but let me ask you something. If you talk with the people around you, if you have the feeling that you feel alone, for example, it is some part my fault if I am suppose that I am feel lonely in my workplace, and if I don't talk with the people around me, this is not part of my fault that I feel like this.
Well, I mean, if you feel lonely in the workplace, the first thing I would ask you is, okay, why do you feel lonely?
Okay.
You know, and I mean, most people then will say, I don't know, something like, okay, nobody understands me, or, I feel everyone's different, or whatever they may say. I don't know. and then you can just move on from there. Because loneliness is a perceived feeling, because in a workplace you're not lonely, you have people around you, right?
True, true. Can be
And again,
possible.
yeah,
Say,
sorry,
say.
Simona.
No, no, say.
It's not the physical connection. I mean, if you just think you don't feel lonely if you have people, well, go out on the street. You will find people, right? It's very simple. You put
Yes.
on your shoes, you go out, you have people. But this is
Yes.
not what makes you not feel lonely. You can
Okay.
be amongst so many people and feel lonely like hell. I see this especially with quite successful people in companies or even entrepreneurs. They're really, really successful, but they feel very alone.
Okay.
But there are other people that are actually alone, but they don't feel alone. So it's a connection in your mind.
This is very good. Yes,
Or let's say, yeah,
it's interesting because you can be, for example, in a relationship. We move now from professional to private, but can be
yeah.
also in the private life, in relationship, you can feel lonely and with your partner.
Well, you can, yes. But then I would tell you, okay, why do you feel lonely again? And then usually when you ask these questions, people will tell you whatever they will tell you. Maybe, you know, they don't understand me, or I just feel I always do everything and they do nothing, or whatever it is. I don't know.
Mhm.
There's usually something behind. It's not just, okay, I'm in a relationship and I feel lonely and that's it. It's like somebody's portraying the news. It's not
Yes.
news.
Yes.
Okay, there's some thought behind it, and this is the thought which you need to find.
Okay. Also in professional, also in private.
Yeah, this applies to everything. I mean, yeah,
I like it.
definitely.
I like it. So, I am very
Good.
happy that you are with me today, even if I hope that you feel better now a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not too bad. I had a bit of a rough night, but yeah, that sounds wrong now. But anyway, we don't need to go in detail. So yeah, but it's not too bad now.
Not bad. Okay. Do you have something else to share, to add, to feel free?
No, I mean, I would just say in the end, whoever feels sort of alone or unhappy or whatever, the first thing that you can do with yourself is to ask yourself why. Okay. Now, when you do this for the first time, your mind will not just come up with answers because we are not programmed like this. But what sometimes helps is to really write it down, you know, to
Okay.
write it down and to just look at your thoughts and look at what you're thinking. And then by time, you can find some patterns and you can pick up things, you know? So, for example, if you write something down today and you look at it again in a week, you can see things a little bit clearer because there's a bit of distance in between. So
Okay.
I would just say find out what's the matter and then really make it an aim for you to figure out how to solve this. Whether you talk to somebody, whether you, I don't know, speak to somebody, whether you hire somebody or whatever it is. I don't know, it's different for every person, but I would
Mhm.
just say it's always an option. There's always an option for you, whether to be alone or not alone, whether to be unhappy or not unhappy, and don't relate it to the outside world. Like make it your own. There are people, we talked about relationships. There are people that are single, but they don't feel alone. They don't feel unhappy. They're fine.
Yes.
Okay. So the question is, okay, what do they do? You know what I mean? So you can really figure everything out. So the final sentence is, Simona, everything is figure outable.
Okay. then then figure out how the life to stay happy, how you create it to stay happy. And next Thursday I am again at the same time, it will be this next session on Romanian language, so I invite all my friends which understand me or they understand my language, Romanian language, and I have a lady which it will be something different. Then I am very excited about. And with you, Anke, I am very happy that you join with me and you stay commitment and you bring stay happy even in the not so bad a good day, you stay still happy. That this is amazing.
Yeah, no, definitely. Thank you so much for inviting me. I enjoyed and we had some fun. And yeah, thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you too. And please leave a comment or something if you have a question for the Anke. You can find it on LinkedIn, on Facebook, all over. And also to this video, leave a comment and we come back to you. Thank you very much.
Definitely.
Have a nice evening, day, and stay happy.
Yeah. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.